We'll fix that for you. Glad we did all that introduction and then nobody could hear us. Hi, everyone. I'm Anne Regovich from OzParatech, Australia's largest online paranormal equipment store.
And I'm Renata Daniel from Newcastle Gas Tours, which has been operating for 11 years in Newcastle and the Hunter Valley and
No head
abroad.
snaps tonight.
And we welcome you to Q&A Monday. Now, the idea for Q&A Monday, before we get on to Anne's birthday, because heaven help us forget about that, the idea for Q&A Monday is if you have any paranormal questions that you would like to ask, please pop them in the chat and we will get to them. We'll get to as many as we can during this 1 hour live session. Now, if you haven't, yeah, we will do.
Good to hear. Oh, yeah.
If you don't know yet, it is Anne's birthday today.
I'm trying to make as many people aware as I possibly can.
You've done very well.
I even did a paid Facebook ad. No, I didn't. Hi, Justin. Hi, Jen. Oh, and thank you, Louise, for the anniversary of my 29th. We won't say how much it is, but yeah, that's very kind of you. Thank you.
So wish the old bird a happy birthday, will you? Or I'll never hear the end of it. Bring your friends along, friends, strangers, grandparents.
Jody, thank you so much for my pin. It says read more ghost stories. So I'm going to actually put that on there. My daughter gave me this beautiful one here, which is a fox on a moon. Isn't that gorgeous? And Christy gave me some face masks, which are out in the car. I might have one in my bag. I'll look in a second. And Renata just gave me a lovely pillow. And Cara gave me this beautiful goblet with Ouija board all over it. And Renata has given me a glow-in-the-dark ghost pillow. So I'm feeling very spoiled. But can I show you what my husband gave me? Because he said...
Are we allowed to show this live?
He said,
did you record it?
I'm going to bring you my birthday... I'm going to give you my birthday present when I get home from work. So if he turned up with his penis wrapped up in a bow, I wasn't going to have a bar of it. But what I got was this.
It's a toaster. They can't see it.
I know. I'm going to lift it up.
So it's a toaster.
Does anyone know what this is?
Here we go. Oh, my God.
I have to say it was inspired by Patrick Keller because I saw he had one and it was just fabulous. I think it's ready to go. We'll see. Ooh. Ready?
All they can see are your hands. They can't see anything else.
Right, as long as I can hear. Hang on, ready? Okay, so we're going to go.
Hours of fun, kiddies.
I'm going to take it. I can't find the button. There's a button to turn it off. I'm going to take it ghost hunting with us. Because if the whole theory is like with REM pods and things, it's basically a big REM pod. So if something comes near the antenna, it's going to make noise. Mm-hmm. And apart from that, we can all play with it. So it's called theremin, but this is a theramini because the proper ones are so freaking expensive, and I wasn't sure whether I'd be allowed to get this one or not, but my husband was very kind and he got it for me. So this is the theramini. Really, it was invented to cure ailments. It was just because it was so awful when people were learning to play it, they had to get up and walk out of the room. It forced them to be better. It's agonizing to learn to play it. Yeah.
Look, the moment she learns Star Trek or Doctor Who,
Yeah.
we'll get her on.
I actually did work on the Doctor Who theme. I can show you a little bit. I can. Got to find the button to turn it on. All right. This is the volume here, right? Oh, no, it's making me do the calibration. Oh, no, hang on. Oh, I've lost the pitch for it. No, I can't find it. No, it's gone. I had it before. I actually got the first. Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to pop that over there because I'm just going to drive everyone batty with it.
Doubles as a toaster.
Okay. Meanwhile, back to work. So Renata, this is our last Monday night.
Mm-hmm. It is our last Monday night, but never fear, we're not going anywhere. We're just going to Sundays.
Oh, look, we've got the Paranormal United Network upcoming to a Gloucester Museum in Copeland. What the hell, Paranormal United Network? Oh, I know what it is because Crispy is writing in there, and it goes to all of them.
So we aren't going far. We are going to Sunday nights, and there's a particular reason why we're going to Sunday nights, which we can't tell you, unfortunately.
But for you guys, it's actually going to be a bigger show with lots more interesting stories from around the world. And we'll be we're actually going to include some free readings on there as well. And it's going to be a 2-hour show. And it will be from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. on a Sunday night. Mm-hmm. Just not here. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But we can't tell you just yet, but we should be able to tell you in a day or two.
So what we'll probably do is come on live and just sort of make a more formal announcement when we get the go-ahead to do so. But at the moment, all we can say is, yeah, we are moving to Sunday nights because we've got a few things happening at the moment which are kind of in the works. And, yeah.
So this person here, Areza Edesami, I'm not sure what that is about, but it's feeling and smelling a little fishy to me. Could you tell me what your group is about, please? Otherwise, I may have to do a slam dunk and block. Nobody go there, please, until we find out exactly what's happening. So, all right, let me get the show up here. Phil, Renata, Phil.
Yeah, it's very exciting, Lisa, Christian, thank you. We feel it's going to be exciting. We hope that you all come across and you don't have to be there for the 2 hours. You certainly can be, but you don't have to be, even if you are there for a little bit of it. That would be awesome.
Thank you, Tracy McGillicuddy, who's just wished me a happy birthday.
We would hate to miss out on any of you not being able to be there. I think we'll be able to do playbacks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, there is a playback opportunity as well. And we're still going to get you guys to help us out during the week by
you have to.
If you see any good ghost stories around the world or interesting things, send it to us in a private message, and we'll give you a shout out if we use one of your stories. Okay, so it's supposed to be here any day. Any day the merch drop, so to speak, of our one and only thing.
Yeah, I did get notified that it should be between Tuesday and Thursday. That's as close as I've gotten. But, we understand the postal system here in Australia, and that could mean any time at all.
Oh, I've just realised I've logged into the wrong thing.
It could be in 3 weeks. Who knows? But we have waited this long. We can wait a few more days. It's okay. It's all right.
I must have it now.
Does anyone have any paranormal questions, or do we just say goodnight?
Well, hang on. I'm getting into there. So you just have to give me a second.
Excuse me for my dishevelled look today. I'm still trying to get over this flu, virusy, horrible pneumonia thing. And I'm fine as long as I sit quite still. The problem is when I start to walk around or go outside, it's when I start to cough, and then it's like someone pulls the plug on my energy.
Kel wants to know, will there be makeup tips again? Apparently they really enjoyed the show with the makeup tips. What I'd really like to do is, I don't know if you remember what they used to do, where they had somebody would, I'm looking at the wrong thing, I'm looking up there, it's here. Somebody would sit, so we'd put a sheet around Renata, and then somebody sticks their hands through and does makeup, be me, behind her. I can't actually see what I'm doing. I think that would be fabulous. What do you reckon, Renata? Boring old sod. Okay. What is the funniest thing I read that as your box has said? Your spirit box has said.
Says a lot of swear words. Helen? Lots of swear words?
Yeah. When I'm at Maitland Jail, I'm looking at the wrong thing again. They do like to say, if I start to talk, they talk over the top of me by saying bitch, slut, whore, which...
Most appropriate.
I think it's funny. I have a bit of a laugh at that because it's sort of like a little thing that they're doing. That it's sort of a little bit affectionate. Maybe not. All right. So I have a small area in my kitchen that is often really cold. My pendulum won't swing there. Is something you might have info about, ladies?
This is kind of, Fiona, this is kind of a chicken or the egg thing. Your pendulum may not swing there because on a subconscious level, you have now said your pendulum doesn't swing there, so it won't. Because your pendulum will only swing if your subconscious allows it to. Because the pendulum works on your subconscious mind and the micro movements in your hand. So if there have been one or two times when you haven't had results in that part of the kitchen, the likelihood is that now your brain has been programmed that it's not going to work there, and so it doesn't. The work that we have to do, and the hardest work we ever have to do, is convincing this of something different than it has been programmed to think. Believe you me, we do work on that all the time. It could be very cold because of a number of different things. I don't know your kitchen, so I have no idea why it could be a cold spot. There could be a couple of things going on.
Could be to do with flooring as well.
It may not necessarily be paranormal. There would have to be a few more things going on there, Fiona, for it to be paranormal. And it wouldn't be consistently cold continuously. So if it's cold all the time, then it's something environmental that's going on. Your cold spots would come and go. They wouldn't stay there.
It's a sudden change.
Yeah. They wouldn't be there continually, my love. I hope that helps for you. What you've got to do is go in with your pendulum and command it to work and see what happens.
I have a video I'd love for you to view of my granddaughter at 4 months of age being lifted up in the air by her feet.
Ooh.
I would like to see that video. Send that to us if you don't mind, if you're happy to. Of course, we won't share it publicly with anyone without your permission. Particularly when there are children involved, you must be very careful of where you share that sort of information. But send it to us in a message if you can, and I'd love to look at that.
Did you put my glass somewhere?
It's the ghost did it. No, I haven't touched your glass. And thank you for all the birthday wishes. Okay. My glass is gone. I had a glass of water right there. I've had actually many funny things on the spirit box. I just can't remember them off the top of my oh, there we are. Renee says, I've misplaced my pendulum. Any tips on how to find it? Yes, dig out your pendulum. And I'm funny, aren't I? I'm so funny. All right. Question, Peter. Thank you for your questions, by the way. I have only ever heard stories about spiritual levitation. Is it a real thing, and how does it happen? That's a big one, that one.
And proper levitation does happen, and it is in the realm of psi. So it's a psi phenomena, which is psychokinesis. It's very, very rare, but apparently it can happen.
And so apparently it's something to do with your sense of reality as well. That we all perceive this world in our very limited senses, but there are some who can perceive the world differently. And I remember reading about it somewhere, but it was quite complicated. But yeah, basically it's the psychokinetic thing. All right. Considering how much time you lovely lasses spend at Maitland Jail, are the obscenities a joke from the spirits who know you're listening or malicious? I don't feel it's malicious. I've never felt threatened there. Although I did get my cranky pants on the other day. What did I have my cranky pants on the other day about? It wasn't Maitland Jail though, was it?
Yeah. Were they getting to? No, it was Tomico House.
Tomico House.
Tomico
Yes.
House, yeah.
That was a bit. Oh, and Jodie, thank you for noticing the new backdrop. Yes, I like this one. I think I've fallen in love with this one, and Harry looks quite comfortable in here. So I like his red eyes. Not sure if I ask here or on Thursday night, but do you ladies help with a lost item of a loved one that's passed? So you're talking about finding something that's gone missing? Is that what you're referring to? So
that would be right, Donna. Anne? Look, we can always give it a crack, but there's no guarantee that we're going to hit the mark. I have found lost items before.
She's found a lost freaking parrot that got out of its cage. But a lovely lady from Randwick Council said, I've lost my parrot. I don't know what to do. I'm beside myself. I love it. And what did you? I can't remember what you said. And this is exactly where the parrot was. So, yeah, they got the parrot back. Do we help her now, or how do we help her?
No, she can ask. Donna, send us a private message and we'll see what we can do for you. Now, look, when you send private messages, guys, can you give us a little bit more information rather than just something that is really vague? It just helps and assists us to focus. I was sent a little video today I think it was on Anne Renard Frightfully Good, and the person that sent the video was just kind of said, take a look at this and see what you think. And so you kind of look at the video and you don't really know what you're looking for because you're expecting something big to happen. Something obvious. And so then you feel really foolish going, well, I didn't see anything. Can you tell me what I'm looking for? So then they said, look in this particular spot. And then you go, okay, well, there is something happening. But if you don't know the circumstances or the surroundings of what you're looking at, you're just making an assumption. And people kind of think that if something turns up that is not expected, then you're automatically going to say it's paranormal. But we need to know more information. And it's not that we're fishing, it's that we're not there to actually see the surroundings. As ghost hunters or investigators, if we went to a home, we would walk around, we would look at everything that is associated with that house to kind of work out whether something was paranormal or not. We can't do that off a photo or off a small video that is held in one position. So you've got to give us more information.
However, I disagree. I think initially we shouldn't be given too much information, just the video footage, and say, can you see anything? Because then we're not being front-loaded with the idea of what might be going on there. So I think let us have a look first.
I didn't see anything in the video that I was sent until I was told to look in a particular spot, and then I saw it.
Was that the one in the top left-hand corner where there's something running across the backyard?
Yes.
Yeah. But
you don't know if it's a backyard. Well, you don't know what it is there.
Yeah, it was very, very small. I had to look it up on my the bigger computer to have a look at it. But I actually like the idea of not being, because then if that sort of determines of what quality level it is. But then if we can't see it, then you need to point out what it is that you are concerned about.
I beg to differ. Isn't that good?
Isn't
that good? No, I like it. We don't have to agree on the same thing.
No,
it's all right. No. It's like me going into sites and people will say, well, I'm not going to tell you what has gone on here. It doesn't seem to bias me on whether I'm feeling something or not in a particular space. If I'm told the whole story, I'm not necessarily looking for that particular thing to happen or to associate it with the site. I'll kind of say if I feel something, I feel something. If I don't, I don't.
Andrew, you need to check out what you're eating before you go to bed. Maybe it's something that's
Andrew,
setting off.
every week you are having dreams about something else. I think you have indigestion.
Yeah, no, I think maybe the prince had a raspberry beret. It took her a little bit, didn't it?
So, Andrew, I think you need to get medically checked out, my love. Because
Helen is saying, look under your desk.
That ain't supposed to happen.
And I'll just get past all the advertising. Jay, how do you distinguish between an actual spirit caught in a photo and a lens flare, etc.? Oh, that's your department because you are the photographer.
Jay, pretty easy. For example, in the photo that you have there, it's a lens flare, or it could have been added in as a Photoshop thing, right? So you have to look at the positioning of lighting or the sun or whatever it is coming in to the photograph, and there are lots of tutorials of that online. So don't take my word for it. Look up the tutorials that will show you what a lens flare looks like on a photograph and how you can distinguish the lens flare and where it's coming from. And there are many, many areas, like we continually say, you think as an observer you're seeing the whole picture, but you're not. Your brain is filtering out everything that it doesn't need to know and only giving you a small percentage of all the information at any given point in time in your world. So therefore, when you look at something, you go, oh, I didn't see that. Yeah, well, you did. And your brain registered it, but it wasn't important at the time. It wasn't going to save your life. Don't need to know about it. So you only have a small portion of the information that you are then tapping into your mind to and going, well, didn't see that. That wasn't there. That wasn't there. Must be a ghost. Very, very hard, again, to try and tell people that things are environmental when their belief is that it's probably something ghostly, and they've been on another Facebook page and everyone has already said to them, it's a demon, burn your house down.
So I hate it when people go onto those general groups and ask a question to a bunch of people who have not studied any of this stuff, and everyone jumps to immediately what the TV shows would have told them and scares the bejesus out of families. It's really wrong.
But Jay, it would be worth your while to look at some tutorials about photography and lens flares and how they look. All you need to do is put in lens flare and look at the images that come up, and you'll have 1,000 different images that will show you the different types of photographs and how they look with that sort of stuff on it, and it will help you to sort out.
Generally, you can see there is a light source somewhere. It'll either be sort of in the opposite corner. So if your lens flare is sort of coming down, I can't do it on here, but if it comes from one aspect, like a shaft, there'll be a light up in that corner. So you just look to see that corner of the picture will be brighter than anywhere else, and it gives you an idea that some sort of light source is there. Okay.
But good question, Jay.
Thank you. That's awesome questions. I'm just getting back now. Sorry, I've missed some of you. Belinda Bickle-Flaherty, that's a fantastic name, Belinda. Hi, I lost my grandmother a few years ago and have been wanting a message, but nothing yet. I know she comes to visit every now and then, but I can't see her, but I can smell her. Why can I only smell her? All I can say, Belinda, is I hope she smelled good. Because I know that sometimes my grandma didn't smell so good when she'd been eating certain things. Anyway. Look, I'm going to say it's because that's what your ability is. You talk about the clairs, where you're clairsentient or Claire, what's all the rest of them?
Clairvoyance.
Yeah, all those clairs that you can have, and you have the ability to use your senses to smell things. Or she is giving you that, she's activating something in your brain that gives you that sense of smell, that you can smell that. But that is her talking to you. That is her letting you know that she is there. So you might not be able to get any bigger message than that without actually working on receiving that sort of message.
And sometimes they won't show you because they know that you might be a little bit too fearful if that happens, and you're not ready to accept that. So they'll come in from an easier perspective. But all of our biases come from TV shows, and we all think we should be able to do everything, and it is not always so. Belinda, you need to be awesomely grateful that you can smell her, and you can ask her to be a little bit more intense the next time she comes through, and maybe give you a message a little bit differently. But if she only wants to pass the smell through and that is it, that's what stuck with Belinda, and you have to be grateful for that.
You're just going to pass the smell through. I'm sorry. You're right, Mick. I forgot about that. There was the other week, we had 3 different people come off the headphones saying they heard some male masturbating through the spirit box. And their description was, we heard that sort of sound going on. We actually did a little video of it and put it up on the Andrew Renata page, I think. Apparently Andrew has levitated above my bed once. Got to get off that curry, mate.
Andrew, you are just so multi-skilled. You do need a show, my darling.
All right. Okay, Donna Wakefield's lost her dad's ring. Right.
I found a ring that I lost in a flower pot once. I was outside gardening and I had a little pinky ring on, and I didn't realise that it was gone until a couple of hours later, and of course I couldn't find it. Years later, I was trying to unpot a plant. It's the only time I've ever gardened, believe me.
Yeah, that just shows you
I
should have
killed
done
everything. And there in the bottom of the dirt was my ring wrapped in the roots.
Oh, wow.
There you go.
That is so cool. Okay, Pink Unicorn. And thank you for the birthday wishes too. Both sides of my house seem disconnected. How do I reconnect them? One side, lounge room, kitchen, laundry, and the other side, bedrooms, bathroom, entry, and the middle. Be interesting to see if they were built at different stages. It could be an actual physical thing that you're feeling, is that one part of the house was built and then there was extensions put on. That's just a guess, because sometimes you end up with different floor levels and different walls, everything, which could make you feel a little discombobulated. Any suggestions from reconnecting it?
This is what you have to do mentally, Pink Unicorn. You have to literally walk around the house and reconnect the house. So you have to literally move from room to room and thread it back together. So this is a mental thing. If there is no one else in the house that is feeling this, only you, then it is the process that you take on board to do. You can mentally say that you want the house to be as one unit, and you visualize it as one, not allowing the corridor or the middle part to be the disconnecting point, but the joining point or the point of reconnection. But it must be done on a mental level. It's the only way to do it. Yeah.
I'm just having this visualization of standing there with a foot on one side and a foot on the other side, your arms out, playing some music and singing along, crazy, dancing, do whatever you want, joy, happiness, and just pulling it back in so that you bind it all together in the middle whilst doing the time warp. Let's do the time warp again. No? Oh, okay. Okay. Daniela has some. Sorry, my shoulder's out. Daniela said that there has been snow up in the Barringtons. We've got Gloucester on Saturday night. We're going to freeze our nipplies off. Nice.
We've got 11.
There's
only a few more. There's probably about 3 more tickets left, and that's it. For
Gloucester. Yeah. Oh, Gloucester's fabulous. It's such an amazing experience. Okay, what's Chandel saying? I love finding things, especially people who are being sneaky. Looks on their faces are priceless. Always wanted to work in private investigation, but never had the finances or time for university. It's actually quite a complicated thing to be a PI, to do it well anyway. Okay.
Now, all of you that have come on at this point in time, have you all wished Anne a happy birthday yet? If you've missed out, there is still time.
Or I can get the theremin out and play again.
So by all means, go right ahead and give Anne your happy birthday wishes.
All right. So while in Romania, did you look for any other myths or creatures?
Did we?
Well, we went down into a cave. Remember we went into the cave of Lad? There was Mary on the wall. You don't remember the picture of Mary on the wall, the water stain? And there was a little river going past it. And, oh my God, she's got a bad memory.
There was a particular cave in Romania that you could go into, and women who wanted to either get married or fall pregnant would go in there and ask the gods in that cave to grant them their wish. So that was sort of there. There was also one particular cave entrance where they had a painting of Mary, I think it was. She is the protector of the miners in the area that would go mining there. And so you would stop and you would ask Mary for safe passage during your shift and then walk down into the cave area. So that was really cool. So we did that.
I'm just trying to find the picture of Mary on the wall because we had to sort of get off the bus and walk down into this subterranean sort of area. It was really good, really cool. I'll have to find it later. I'll see if I can find it and put a photo up for you guys because she needs her mind jogged as well. Rightio. Oh, geez, Patricia. Yeah, what do you think of Zach? Oh, I love that Bill Chappell was involved, and I love Bill Chappell's experiments and everything that Bill Chappell does. No, Zach doesn't impress me. I'm sorry. I used to really love watching the guys, and I still get a bit of a tickle out of watching it, but I haven't watched Ghost Adventures in such a long time now, and it's a little sad because I did used to love it. Oh, somebody had asked about the witching hour too, and I lost the question. Is the witching hour a real thing or not? No, it's not. It was created.
It's another myth and legend.
Another furphy created probably by Hollywood. Do you both believe in the 3 a.m. challenge that goes on YouTube? I've not even heard of that.
Probably another witching hour thing. When we went to England and we did the tour of the Pendle Witches, one of the things that was reiterated there was that a lot of the women who would go to secret meetings, because, I mean, women were not allowed to go out and socialise and do all of these things. They were supposed to be at home and looking after children and tied to the sink, would go out at night in the dark of night when it was quiet and when they were unlikely to be disturbed or found out. So, you know, one of the reasons why all of these things would happen at night was that it was quiet then. And full moons were used because there was more light on a full moon than at any other time. So it was easier to go through the forest or through the back lanes and not twist your ankle or not get lost because the full moon was out and it would light up the environment for you. That's why full moons were so important, and that's why these things happened at night in the evenings.
I like Becky's question here. What's the Irish spirits? It's whiskey. Don't call it Scotch. But if you do not call it Scotch, so they're not happy if you call whiskey Scotch. What's the Irish spirits? I was reading something Irish and tried to figure out what they called it. Tuatha Duanan, I think it is. Tuatha Duanan. I'm killing it, but it's the Tuatha. Thauatha or something like that. Tuatha Duanan. Figure out what they call the spirits that dwell in the forest. Well, they believed that there were spirits in the trees, in the streams, in the rocks. So you've got a lot of Celtic faith over there, and a lot of superstition, and of course the leprechaun
and the fairies.
Yep. So and the druids are over there as well. They're in England and Ireland, and yeah. Do you know what seeing spiders in dreams? What do they mean?
Oh, we've got the spiders. This is the third week in a row.
Oh, there it is.
Spiders.
Danielle, thank you. That's our Irish correspondent. There she is.
So, again, seeing spiders is different for different people. And it depends on whether you're scared of spiders or whether you love spiders. And if you love spiders and you see them in your dreams, it may be a prophecy of something really awesome happening. If you are terrified of spiders, then your dream symbolically will show you a spider to reference what is scaring you at this point in time in your real world, in your waking world. So if you're seeing spiders, it's reflecting back on your thoughts about what you are scared or terrified of that might be happening to you right now. And you're trying to work that out during your dreams. Easiest way to do it is through symbology, and we can look at all of those dream books and things, and they can give us clues, but in the end you have to also add into that your own beliefs about all those different things, because like I said, spiders are awesome for some people and scary as all shit for others.
Oh, pardon me. This is more a witchy question, but I've noticed in a few witchy Facebook groups, people talking about dark magic and they've been watching TV, and doing spells that cause harm to others, e.g. losing their job or getting injured. I don't know if this is real or coincidence, but doesn't this type of spell cause imbalance or invite bad karma back? Just curious about what I've been reading. Very good question, Renee.
Oh, Renee.
But they've been watching too many TV
Renee,
shows.
Renee.
It's Renee that's asking the question about the other people.
Renee, you ask amazing questions.
She does. And
love your questions.
Big questions.
Yeah. But most people have absolutely no clue what dark magic is or any sort of magic really. They're only getting their information from books that only ever tap the surface of all of this stuff. And this is all about power and control. And a lot of people try to get power and control because they feel they have none. And we cast spells through our massively stupid tongues and the things we speak about all the time.
Yeah, we'd say things like, God, I wish you'd just drop dead.
Yeah, or, God, she's a cow. She's such a cow. You know, and so we say things all the time. We gossip about.
I think Christy must have touched something
about other people, and they're just as bad a spell as anything else. Spells and proper spells that do true harm to people are done by a rare handful of magicians who shouldn't be doing it anyway, but who know the processes and have studied really hard. 98% of people may consider that they know how to do things, but in most cases they don't, and that's where it can really fall back on them with the consequences of what they are doing. So this is again lots of furphy stuff that is spread out there, and unless you know this work and you know the background of the work and you have studied very hard for many years to understand the processes, you're just dabbling in shit, really. And if you dabble in shit, your fingers are going to smell, right, Renee? Because that's what happens.
Joe, good question. Noticed a few teams doing the God helmet experiments lately. What are your thoughts on this? So for those who don't know what the God helmet is, it is a helmet that has a whole heap of
Electrodes.
And it's putting EMF into you so that you're also, you can't see, I think if I remember correctly, it's sort of, they've done the what's the other one? Gansfeld, sort of loosely based on it. I don't know the intricate workings, but I know that the God helmet was seeing how the brain reacts to this EMF field around them, because it was starting to show that people were zoning out, hallucinating, and having some sort of otherworldly experience. So it's almost like the equivalent of the ayahuasca stuff, where they go and have a sweat tent and hallucinate and carry on, but they're doing it using electronics. I'd love to give it a crack, only because I'm curious what would happen. I just hope that whoever is doing it has some sort of somebody who is knowledgeable in electronics and electrics, so they don't fry their brains. Really, truly.
And also, when someone has an episode that is quite scary, because many of the episodes that occur with the God helmet are very terrifying, that there is someone there that knows what to do with that person when they are doing their talk through and their debrief.
And I hope they're not doing it as part of tours. They're doing it with people that they know their mental health background, because it could actually trigger an episode of something in someone who has mental health issues.
Yeah, you don't want an episode of paranoia happening.
All right. Is that a cat?
Yeah, it is. Where is my glass of water? For frick's sake.
All right, Grant, thank you for joining us on the show. Grant is one of our gorgeous... It's back! Grant is one of our parastalkers. Happy birthday, Ed. Thank you, Grant. You're locked out in Liverpool. My question is regarding the so-called creepers mentioned at some locations. Is this an example of psychokinesis? Where folk impart energy and create something out of nothing? Seems to happen on American paranormal shows,
of course,
particularly where there is a cavalcade of folk investigating the location, such as Waverly Sanatorium near Louisville, Kentucky. Yes. So this is where, and this is what we have found in true hauntings. When we have researched some of the most haunted locations in the world, or places where people are running ghost tours, we dig down to try and find out, where did the source of this haunting come from? Who said it was haunted? How do you know it's haunted? What is the evidence of it being haunted? Check out our podcast. It's fabulous. Anyway, and so many times we have found that it is a story that some psychic has come in and gone, oh, do you know you've got an old lady standing over there? And then people feed into it, or they go to a location with a sad history, and some will go, oh, you've still got an inmate over there. I can pick up his name, George. He's 65. He spent 40 years here. He died by someone strangling him. So everyone then comes in looking for George. And it was one person's word. And this is how the Amityville horror started, because the Warrens came in and declared there was ghosts and demons there. So the rest of the world went, oh, well, there must be. And they all fed into the story. I'm just going to let this cat in. You have a go.
Yeah.
Ollie, what's your problem? There's no cat there. There is no freaking cat there.
Yeah, this was kind of proven in the Philip experiment, Grant, that I'm sure you know about, where a group got together and concocted the story of a spirit and made it real. It came to life, literally. It created an energetic form, an energy form that existed. Yeah, absolutely, it does happen. And, you know, when you think that certain places have tours and these people talked about time and time again, week after week, month after month, year after year, it does create an energetic imprint of that particular energy.
You've been screaming to come in here, and now you're in here. You're like, no, thanks. I don't want to be here. Sorry, have you finished with that one?
You got your pussy in your lap.
John will be happy. Right, I've just lost all of it. It's all just disappeared. Oh, there we go. Renee's saying that she can confirm that the feck-off spray works for monsters and zombies under 3 years old. Under the bed, he was most happy with the spray.
Oh, nice.
I'd like to know how you explain that one to him. Mummy's just going to spray some spray. Yeah, right, okay. Oh, wow, you live 2 hours away from Waverley. That is so cool. Hello, Ollie. Meow, meow. Chaotic witch, I think it is. So chaos magic is something completely different as well.
Yeah, chaos magic. And chaos magic is something that is relatively new, I think 1980s.
Everyone check out Ollie's butthole.
it was birthed. So it's not an old form of magic. It's actually quite a new form of magic.
Don't walk on the keyboard. Right. Ghost Kitty. Thanks for that, Ollie. Just completely reset everything. All right, bring that back to. Oh, not down that far. Right, there we are. So I'm not sure who this is. When I was a little girl at my childhood home, I experienced a young girl spirit that was very close for many years. Members of my family experienced her as well, but it just disappeared. But knowing what I know, I'm curious whether I was the cause of the creation of the spirit in the family home. Now, that's quite interesting take. I like it. What's your thoughts on that?
You may well have been. Depends on how emotional you were and what trauma you were going through or what issues you were going through at the time. And look, it's just a highly emotional state that can trigger these things. And some highly emotional states are really nice emotional states, states of great happiness and,
love too.
Wonderful, states of being. You don't have to be in trauma. Most of us, though, can remember traumatic experiences. If we're asked, when was your happiest emotional state? You may be able to choose one or two. When were you in trauma or had a really bad time? You could probably rattle off about 10 or 20. Yeah. So it would depend on what state you were in and whether you did create a special friend who was there in your time of need. It could have been a spirit guide or a spirit child that was there to help you get through a rough time or a hard time.
That's his sexy now.
Could have been.
All right. Thank you, Virginia, for the birthday wishes. Why do I always dream about my childhood home?
Some sort of unfinished business there, Virginia. So something that needs to be reconciled in your mind or in your subconscious. It may be, again, a symbology. If your childhood home was something that was meaningful and gave you a sense of safety and security, then your subconscious mind is giving you that sense of safety and security in your dream by symbolically showing you something that you associate with safety and security, which is your childhood home. If your childhood home was a place of trauma or issues, then again, if you're having trauma or issues, symbolically in your dreams, your dream state, your mind is showing you the childhood home. So it all falls back to you trying to work out what the symbology of the thing is. So Virginia, for you, it's a childhood home, and you have to work out whether you had good times there, bad times there, whatever it was. It is something that has now been buried very, very deep into your subconscious mind, good, bad, or indifferent. And so you've got to work out what that childhood home means for you and then try and interpret it through the dream that you're having.
Michelle also says that the F-off spray works for annoying customers as well, especially if you spray it right in their face, which I don't recommend you doing. Oh, it just jumped again. Yes, the kitty is starving. You should try picking him up, Rosemary. He weighs a ton. I reckon he weighs more than your pugs. Oh, you guys are funny. Yes, Jodie's also been using. Christy, maybe you need to put up a link onto your store where people can buy the F-off spray. I don't know if she ships to America, but she certainly does ship all around Australia. Right, now this is a really good question. How do you differentiate between actual psychosis and a true paranormal experience? That's really hard. For me, it's if they are giving information, can the information be validated, and is it the sort of information that you can't look up somewhere? And maybe ask a question, something like, put 3 fingers up behind your back and say, can you tell me how many fingers do I have behind my back, spirit? So that if they are having some sort of spirit interact, or I've got a photo in my wallet, can you tell me what my photo is of? Or something that they if it was a true spirit experience, they'd be able to pick up on that information. That's just a suggestion from me. But you're the one with the training in that area more than me.
Yeah, Chloe, it's about control. So if there is a psychotic episode happening, there is often no control that can be afforded to the person who is having the episode, and they need assistance. They need to be talked down and talked through it. Also, a true paranormal experience often happens externally and not internally. And there's a different language that a person will speak if they're having a psychotic episode rather than a paranormal experience. It's a very fine line. And I guess you don't want to not be knowledgeable enough to kind of say to a person you're having a paranormal experience when they are actually having a mental health experience, because that's very, very wrong to do for a person. And that's always something that we have to worry about as paranormal investigators.
And tour operators.
Yeah, making everything out as something that's paranormal when they're actually having very, very difficult issues that need to be dealt with by a professional. So you just got to be aware of learning as much as you can about both sides of things, and looking up, what does a person exhibit having a psychotic episode. You'll find that it's actually very, very similar to a paranormal experience. Their control is one of the things, though, that seems to be one of the differentiation points between the two.
And asking for you to do things that would go against your moral judgments and things like that, or against what they would believe in as well. Just all right, good question here. Blunt question. How do I disconnect from a childhood home where there were ghosts and ETs who were doing abductions?
Ooh, Nikki, wow.
And hello to Meryl. How are you?
Nikki, to be honest and truthful, I would suggest that you seek assistance in this. You seek help from a hypnotherapist or a counsellor who can help you run through these things and work them out, because it is a mind control thing, whether someone else is doing the mind control or whether you're trying to get control back of your mind. Your mind is the thing that sits in this question and needs to be dealt with. And it It's not a magic wand that, someone will come in and burn some sage in your house and say, go away, everything's done. Nikki, this needs work, and you need to get to a point where you're starting to feel comfortable that isn't coming into your life and disrupting it anymore. And you need to seek professional help for it. And yours was a blunt question. I'm giving you a blunt answer. Seek proper guidance from someone who has the knowledge to help you, not someone who's going to throw woo-woo shit at you and just convolute the whole story.
Good question, and thank you for sharing that, Nikki. That was a really good one. The other day, my mother claimed she saw a ghoul. She said it was I think that's meant to be ghoulish figure or gobblish figure. She is a Catholic woman and is very spiritual. She says it was very stinky. What could this be?
Anything.
Is it something that she's seen before? Or is it a one-off thing? Is it just something that was passing through? What sort of day was she having when she saw this thing? Was she in any sort of emotional stress or worry or concern?
Was she triggered by? Had she been to church not long ago and
what was the sermon on?
Yeah, heard a sermon. And I know that sounds, we're not trying to be facetious about it, but there are certain triggers when it comes to belief systems and huge beliefs, and we can be triggered by many things that other people will go, oh, that's a bit silly. But if you have a deep belief and it's triggered and you are fearful, then that fear will show itself in some way, shape or form externally. And that's when you get things like what your mum is going through here, seeing something she's not quite sure of, and this associated smell with it. And again, if it is something that has really rocked her world, she needs to seek out some professional help for it if it is something that is overcoming her and making her feel very, very fearful. Or she should go see her local priest who might be able to help her. Because that's where her belief system sits.
That's where her belief system sits.
So she needs to talk to her priest about it.
Now, this is the last question. So thank you, everyone, so much for your questions tonight. It's been amazing.
Awesome questions.
We're at 59 minutes, but I know that I've saved a good one from Jess for the last one. You'll love this one. What are starseeds? Been seeing a lot of this lately. Is it a thing?
Yeah, it's a thing.
It's a thing that makes you feel very special.
It is. So special. Everything's special.
Star sperm in me.
No one talked about star seeds 100 years ago.
Nobody knew about them.
No.
Somebody just created it.
But there's a star seed now. Amazing. And Jess, if it speaks volumes to you, look it up.
Jess is one of our very blunt followers who will tell people exactly what she thinks. So
that's
I think she's having a little bit of
if it means something to you, look it up. Go with it. If it's full of shit, after you've read about it, then you just say to yourself, it's full of shit. It's some new airy-fairy shit to sell books.
It's the latest thing.
Whatever, and to make you feel special, because, God, we all need to feel special in this world. Yes.
Oh, Travis Reed, thanks for joining us. And thank you to all the new people who have come on tonight. We actually had quite a few people on tonight for our Q&A Monday.
It was your birthday,
So
it's a special day.
Of course. So
special day.
Next week we will be on Sunday from 8 till 10 p.m. and we will let you know where very shortly. But it's exciting, and it will be a 2-hour show, and lots of new little topics and things we're going to be covering. So I hope you all will enjoy it, the new format. And
and we will be asking you for more questions.
We will.
So we're still going to be answering questions, absolutely, because that's what we do in the Q&A. We do answer questions. So please, when we ask for you to send through questions, please do, because it'll give us something to talk about.
Yep. Anyway, thank you all guys so much. Love yous all, and we'll see you on the dark side. Bye.